Yes, good people. Big up to all of you, and welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show. And in this particular edition, we will address some news items we have lined up, and also talk about the game yesterday. A lot of people didn't expect us to win, and that's because Charity FC is well and truly in existence. But that's, by the way, we'll wish Chelsea legend Eden Hazard happy birthday. And by the way, how old is it? Has it turned today? I can't um, quite remember, but I'm happy that a lot of people on social media did a lot of stuff that reminded me it's a birthday for a special person like him. But that's, by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream. Sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, blue morning to all of you. I hope you're all doing well. Before we continue, I'm going to say hello to all of you in the chat because that's how we roll. We keep it interactive as usual. That never changes, even when I'm exhausted. Hello to you too, Constantine. Nice to see you, brother. Much love to you. Yep, thank you for calling my name. I cannot believe how quick this year is going. We're already 17th January. It feels like yesterday. Yeah. It goes like this. It goes that quickly from Xmas till now, just a blur, so quick. Yep, especially if you're busy. Hi to you too, Rain. Nice to see you, Rain. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And Nkunku is injured, apparently. Yes, he is. But there are conflicting reports out there. Some are saying that he's going to be out for 3 weeks. Of some are saying that he's just gonna you can say it's not as serious that he could be available for selection for the Middlesbrough game, but we'll get to that in a bit. And we have a big up top of the morning, Vic. Nice to see you, Vic. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Namaya Fawale, yep, the starting free kick. We'll talk about that in a bit. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Yes, for 3 weeks. We'll talk about that even more. Let's see anything else. So big up Kachula, Dante. Big up to you too, JC. Nice to see you, brother. Finally, it's that time of the year. Finally, indeed. Let's see. We need let's keep the topics aligned, please. Yes, just sub Starling when a free kick then back off again. Use him to his strengths. Maybe that's what the manager ought to be doing. Yep. I didn't see that. Let's see you. It's this man's birthday. To me, he's a special player. I don't think I've ever liked any Chelsea player as much as I loved Eden Hazard when he was still playing for us. Even when he stopped playing for us, I wasn't happy with Real Madrid the way they treated him. Because you could argue they didn't handle his days at the Bernabeu very well, in my opinion. But let's say you see your birthday message say Eden Hazard. Or maybe let's hear your favorite Eden Hazard Chelsea moment. I want to hear you. For me, it was that a special goal against Tottenham ensured that they didn't win the league. Assist by Diego Costa, correct me if I'm wrong. But let's hear your favorite Eden Hazard moment before we move on. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. We have 14 people watching, nearly 50% of that on Instagram, or maybe X, formerly known as Twitter, or maybe Facebook. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 11 likes already. It looks like we're going to do well today, but let's keep beefing up the likes. The more likes we're gonna, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and be forced to push the stream to more people who'll be interested in the topics we'll have lined up. As I've explained, we have a few news items lined up to discuss, and then we get into the match review proper. Let's hear your favorite Eden Hazard moment if you're in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to move on. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And quickly, while I wait to hear your favorite Eden Hazard moment, I want to appeal to those of you who are watching but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the show, in the chat, so to speak, just know that we appreciate you. And that is because you watching alone does provide great value, and we sincerely do appreciate that. But at the same time, we want to ask you for one tiny bitty favor, one little favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us. Yep, the likes do go a long way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's hear you, your favorite Eden Hazard moment, whether you're watching on Facebook or on X or maybe on Instagram. Let's hear you. Nothing here from these guys here. They're busy planning on how to change my name to Pochettino. It will not work. Yep, like keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. For me, I've explained my favorite Eden Hazard moment. The day he scored that beautiful coiler against the beautiful coiler against it was against Tottenham. Yep. The goal that stopped them. You could argue that won the league. He scored actually you could argue that Hazard scored the goal that won the league for Leicester City and stopped Tottenham from winning it. I think it was that same season. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. A lot of birthday wishes for Eden Hazard on the community tab. Kay Smith are saying happy birthday, Eden Hazard. Patricia Gallagher said, well done, Chelsea. Keep the good work up. I think that's for probably that response. Okay, still on the Eden Hazard birthday wish there. Let's hear you, your favorite Eden Hazard moment. I want to hear you there. Let's see anything else to talk about. A solo goal against Arsenal in the league and the Europa League final. Did he score a solo goal in the Europa League final against Arsenal? But I remember that one where I like to see it this way. The whole Arsenal team were on him, and yet they couldn't stop him. I remember Francis Coquelin, I think Coquelin was his name, tried to nudge him and ended up and ended up you can say he fell as if he hasn't eaten for a week. He hadn't eaten for a week before that game. I liked that solo goal, but that was just the game. I think there was not so much at stake at that in that particular for that particular game, but it's a good one too. That was especially he had plenty of solo goals. One I can remember against West Ham United. It was special too, and the finish for that one not about power. Just about placement. Yep, on the carpet too. He's a special player, and I'm not sure how soon we're gonna get any player that will be anything, be as good, as close as good as he is, or maybe in terms of style. But because players come, players go. You will always get one. Who knew that we would get a player like Hazard after what's his name after Zola? I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Hi, coach. We must beat a Middlesbrough. Nice to see you, Rich and Money Makers. I appreciate you joining. Another fun moment was Hazard coming off the bench and winning Leicester City the league. Oh yeah. Fun fact: he won the league for them, and the assist. Correct me if I'm wrong, JC. The assist was from Diego Costa. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was a special talent for us, and I appreciate him so much. There's been a lot of moments. The goal against Liverpool and Tottenham. The goal against Liverpool was also a solo goal. He passed it to who? I think it was Cesar Azpilicueta, who was playing right back on the day. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then got it back from him, weaved through the Liverpool midfield, then the defense also before a fine finish there. There's so many. He scored plenty of solo goals. Yep. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Hazard magic. He was a special player for us, in my opinion. Unfortunately, he didn't get to win the Champions League with us. And I still wonder till this day what could have been had he stayed and worked under Thomas Tuchel. But you never know. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Are we moving? How far? It's just 11 likes, 14 likes, but we should be doing better than that. Let's address the items we have lined up, and then we can go straight to the match review. I know a lot of you you do have a lot to say. I give the manager credit this time. I expected Raheem Sterling to stay on, But because but I didn't want him to stay on. I honestly did want the manager to take him off. He stayed on and scored. So credit to the manager. And I think, in all honesty, that wasn't the game for Mudryk, because there weren't too much. You can say maybe enough space for him to exploit, but he did one. That's not to say he played badly. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I am a member of 3 groups so far. So far, guys, I think about it. What groups? Why isn't that a breaking news? By the way, let me sound like sound like JC this time. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. So let's get the first news item we have lined up, which is really this one, not that one. That which says breaking news: Christopher Nkunku is expected to be out for around 3 weeks with a hip injury. And then here's why I said I think there are conflicting reports out there. This particular report reads, Christopher Nkunku hip injury is nothing serious. If all goes well, he'll be available for selection there next week against Middlesbrough or Fulham. It was just a prevention. He is fine. So yeah. So I think we're just being cautious. We just don't want him to aggravate it. Which is I like us to handle it that way. We've had situations where players like N'Golo Kante, when he's out injured, the slightest he recovers will pull him into the fold and aggravate the situation. So I like this. I do like the fact that we're being cautious. I think we can do without him. Hopefully, Broya will not disappoint. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Come on. Linton is his name. Yeah. Not good enough. It has to be breaking news. I agree with you. And I also, at the same time, quickly, I want to say thank you to those of you who are following the show on Instagram. I appreciate you all. On X, formerly known as Twitter, on Facebook, just know that we appreciate you all. Let's see what else we have here. He's unlucky. We've heard, according to Fabrice Hawkins, I think he's a French journalist, because every time I've seen his name, it has to do with a French player, the French national team. So, which means I believe him. I don't think it's anything serious, that serious. We're just being cautious there. Keep dropping on the stream. I'm not saying that you have to say breaking news today. Rich money makers, you have to say breaking news. Let's see what else we have here. Hello to you, to the coolest Charles podcast. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. To be good. Nice to see you, brother. Thank you so much for finding time to join us in the chat today. You know what to do. Hit the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel. We are getting closer and closer to 19,000 subscribers. Right now, we are at 18,280 subscribers. We'll get there. Hopefully, we'll get to 20,000 by the time the January transfer window ends. And the plan is to get to 100 by the end of the year. We'll put in the work needed. Hopefully, I'll get as much help as I want. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. It looks like my system is kind of slow today. I'm not sure why that is the case. Let's see what else we have here, people. Constantine Dante just saying hello to you there. Just people having some conversation there. Let's see. Anything else there? Anything else to address? Breaking news: we have to lower our injuries as soon as possible. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now that's your idea. So I appreciate that. That's your ID right there. Without that, we'd ask you for your ID. But because you did that, rich money makers, appreciate you. All right, just give me a second here. I'm looking for something in a bit. Appreciate you. And Wally Waldo is in the house. Nice to see you. Big up Coach Panel. Chat. See what happens when we actually cross the ball into the box. Yep, put it inside the box. So Poch is him, my gaffer. I think he will do well. He's still the right person. He's not been perfect. Hopefully, he's learning from his mistakes. You can count such games on fingers where Poch got things right. Meanwhile, TT beat City when it mattered the most. You could argue Poch did beat City when it mattered. He beat City in the semi-finals of the Champions League to meet Liverpool in the final. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. So he's beaten Pep when it mattered. So careful. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. People, the likes do go a long way. Let's see anything else to address here. I think we have to move to the next item we have lined up. Yep, 14 likes, people. 14 likes. Don't be shameless there. We should be doing way better than that. Let's go. Report. Mauricio Pochettino has described Armando Broja as one of the most promising young strikers in Europe, but has urged the Chelsea forward to now step up and push himself. He has to do that. This is Nicholas Jackson's absence is the perfect opportunity for him to show, yes, he's capable of leading the line for Chelsea. He's capable of performing at the highest level. And he wasn't perfect yesterday, but when the opportunity came, he took it. He still looked a bit rusty, in my opinion. The best I've seen him was when he went on loan. Was Eredivisie? I can't pronounce that. The Dutch league. Let me just use that term. The Dutch league. He was excellent. Alfie the club there, for lack of a better language there. For me, I think he's a good player. He needs time. It's not going to come good. It's not going to happen like overnight. And one question I've asked myself is this: do we have the luxury to give him how much time he needs to get better? I'm not too sure. He has to take it immediately. Tomato, welcome to the panel. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Let me get you started immediately. Christopher Nkunku is this particular report from I Am Rahman Usman saying he's going to be out for 3 weeks. And this particular report here is saying from the French journalist Fabrice Hawkins, saying Christopher Nkunku, his injury is nothing serious. If all goes well, he will be back. He will be there next week against Middlesbrough or Fulham. It was just a prevention. He's fine. So what do you make of the report? Conflicting, really?
No, for me, it's not conflicting. Remember, we said it on the show yesterday that means Pochettino is cautious, right? So this journalist came in the morning and assumed that Christopher Nkunku will be out for 3 weeks just to feed our fans what they want. After that post, we saw fans complaining that Mauricio Pochettino should change his training routine. Our players are getting injured. Blah 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 blah. Now two French journalists said that Nkunku is fine. We're just being cautious. Simple as that. Remember, we had injuries from start of the season until now. The coach is trying all means to manage that. He even said it yesterday after the match on the post-match reaction. He said, "I think you journalists, you should just talk to the fans that injuries are not helping, but you don't do that. You just ask questions, but you don't implement that to the fans. Clearly, that means something. Pochettino is struggling due to injuries, but he won't say it like public and say, "Oh, I'm struggling, blah blah blah." But we can see as people that injuries are not helping us to progress as a team. People say it's excuses. It's fine. That's how you see it. But injuries are not helping. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It hasn't helped. I'm not sure, but I'm glad to see that somebody there say that then Kunku's injury isn't something to be that worried about, and it's nothing that serious. That's according to Fabrice Hawkins. I hope that's the case. That's, by the way, we have Bobby here on the panel. Bobby, nice to see you. We haven't seen you in a while, and I was just saying on the show yesterday that I will reach out to you to see how you're doing. I hope things are okay on your end, Bobby. But more importantly, you're here. That's a good sign. If even if things had not been okay, you being here is a sign that things are better. But Bobby, how have you been, brother?
Yeah. Big up, guys. Big up, coach.
Big up
Thanks.
to you too.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to take time to attend to myself, as it were. So no, I'm good. I'm good. It's not a relapse, but I have to go into my next phase of treatment. Almost like these guys coming back from injury, you rehabilitate yourself. But yeah, I am sorry. Who's that speaking with me? I can't see the name. Who's
That
this?
was Tobeho.
Tobago. Oh my God! How can I not recognize Tobago? Tobago, big up, bro. Yeah, do you know what? I have to agree with him. I have to 100% agree with him. Coach,
Mhm.
people that say that Chelsea calling out their injuries is looking for an excuse is the same as somebody blaming someone for being injured or blaming someone because they're sick. This is just a reality. You know, the injuries have not helped the progression of the project. That's just the clear truth. It's a reason, not an excuse. And it's a little bit kind of subjective of this curse. No, sorry, this thirst, rather, that people are trying to create a narrative, a cloaked anti-Chelsea narrative. Let's hit the club. Let's do hit pieces on streams on the club at every and any giving opportunity that they find themselves in a situation of struggle. It's as if Chelsea have to produce a 100% perfect performance every game for them to get any kind of reprieve. And even then, they'll find another way to attack them. Like, it really disappointed me when they were saying, oh, Chelsea's midfield, you could hear the commentary yesterday. Chelsea's midfield one of the players could probably buy the entire Preston team. I mean, do you really need to say that? No. Would you say that about anybody else? Would you say that if Man City was playing? Would you say that if Man United was playing? No. But it's always Chelsea. You must throw a curved ball. They must cast aspersions on the club. The fact that we've had injuries is a fact that has not helped with the progression of the project. However, having said all that, I personally believe yesterday's performance was an example of the progression of the project, an example of what we can do, but the fact that we're going to need time. Brozier's goal, people can say, oh, it was only Preston. Yes, he was unmarked. He took his opportunity. Look, I can assure you, if that was Jackson, he wouldn't score. Enzo found himself in a similar position. His header was too weak to beat the keeper. So, these guys are in flashes showing what they are about. And we, as a fan base, we really have to get behind them. And we really have to be patient with this project. This is a hefty week for us. It's a massive week coming because we have to basically win every game we have. Preston down, there's Middlesbrough, there's Fulham, there's Middlesbrough again, and I think there's Liverpool after that. So it's a huge week. Well, every week is huge for Chelsea, but this is particularly more significant because it marks the progression in the cups that we need so badly, and the position in the league, especially, that we need to start to sort out. So patience is what I have to say, and I pray and I just hope that there are a lot more in the fan base like Tobago that have the, I know you're going to come at me, but have the intelligence to understand what is happening, understand that we have to get behind the team, and understand that constantly knocking the team for things that they probably cannot help is not helpful to the general fan base that support. In fact, it just creates a depressive following, which shouldn't be what we're about. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much. Let me catch up with what we have in the chat, then we get into the match preview proper. We've addressed the last news item. There aren't too many news items to discuss here. Wally Waldo is saying it's also a massive chance for David Washington to step up and show us what he's got. Yep, because it's simple logic really. Amanda Broya, he's not going to play all the games, but that's the truth. Nicholas Jackson's absence creates an opportunity for Amanda Broya, not just him, but David Washington also. And given the fact that Nkunku will not be, could miss at least 2 games, that's a huge opportunity for the other kids. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with people. We're blaming Broya for not holding the ball up well. Why issue? The issue was that he should not be even required to hold hoofed ball. We were playing Preston. Poch got it wrong first half. Conservative. Okay, we got to the game proper in a bit. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with Poch needs to fire Poch. Okay. They need to fire each other. I get where that's going. Bobby is in the house. Yes, you're happy now, rich money makers. Yep, send the mail in the check. And Jay is in the house. Jay, I said, speak up, coach. A great day after a sweet victory. It was a good victory. And here's the thing, I'll take that. And that's because we've been struggling against you could say non-big teams, for lack of a better language there. Let's see, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. It says big up Bobby. Okay, we are unbeaten this year. What was your New Year resolve? Here's the thing. Yeah, we're unbeaten this year actually, and we've won 3 games on the bounce. That's not easy. When last did that happen? And we've won 6 home games in a row. Yeah, you can say things are starting to change for good. Big up to Bobby. According to Dante there, Poch is going to be exposed soon. I'm not sure where you're going with that, but up to you. Let's see. I'm going to tell all the secrets of Pochettino. Stay tuned and subscribe to Blue Board Analysis. So you've heard him, and he shared the link to the channel in question there. That's Jerry's YouTube channel. Go check it out and support them. Subscribe to the channel. Poch Endgame soon. Bob is back. Us against the world time hammer. I like that behavior actually. Big up to you too, Tiger. I appreciate you finding the time to join. I fully agree with Bobby that pundits are all about our team being a waste of money. I don't know what was that guy's name again. I couldn't believe that honestly. But I was happy to see his face when the game ended and we won 4-0. It could have won by an even wider margin. By the way, for people who want Bako at Chelsea, he might be going to Brighton. Okay. Okay. That second half is how we should be playing every game. Aggressive total football. And yeah, but it took the manager had to learn from the first half. And according to Constantine Dante, they played with a different approach, a different structure, so to speak. So that may well have been an issue for the manager, but I'm glad he made the right changes and things worked for good. Let's see. Preston put out their strongest team against us. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether they put their second 11. It doesn't matter. It's football. Because if we lose to them, nobody will be talking about. The talk will be. You can look at the team we lost to. If only we played Preston every week. I'm actually shocked that we were actually to do as well as we did. Usually we struggle against such teams. So I'm seeing, for me, in my opinion, the signs are things are changing for good. Big up to you too, Chelsea, all the way. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Nkunku out for 3 weeks. We've addressed that particular topic. Can we get Werner? Werner has gone to Tottenham, and the rumors are that the deal is done according to Fabrizio Romano. Anything else here? Bobby, sparkling positivity. Big up. Okay. Well, though we can hijack the deal, I don't think we can, and I don't want him back at Chelsea. But that's just my opinion anyway. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 19 likes. We should be doing way, way, way better than that. And if you are a moderator, just keep reminding people to keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. They've agreed everything. He only needs to sign his contract. The deal is basically done. Yeah. And I'm not too concerned that he's gone to Tottenham. I know a lot of people will be asking questions on with regards to why he is moved to Tottenham. It's on loan and could become a permanent deal at the end of the season. And it's a smart move for them, in my opinion, given that Son will be gone for an Asian tournament. What's it called again? I can't quite remember. But that's, by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let me ask you this before we even get to the match review proper. Let me ask you this, Ty. Your favorite Eden Hazard moment. Let's hear you. And big up, Ty. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Let's hear your time.
My favorite Eden Hazard moment is oh boy, the match against Arsenal where we won 4-1 in Baku. The penalty in the final game that he played for Chelsea. His assist to Pedro, and also the two goals that he scored, preferably the one where he volleyed it past Czech. It was an interesting moment because Czech obviously would have had history at the club, and he would have known Hazard for a while. But the way that he was able to convert and the moment between him and Czech, it was one that was memorable. It's one that had a lot of poetic writings behind it. So it was good. There's obviously other moments as well, but that one stands out to me.
Yeah, and Baku, that was on the Mauritius Sarri, right?
Yeah, we won
Yeah, it
4-1.
was. Then good evening for Arsenal.
Good evening.
Yep,
I
good
can't say
evening.
good evening anymore because he's having a good evening right now at Aston
Yep.
Villa.
Oh, he's an excellent manager. They didn't just give him time at Arsenal. Bigger brother and my family, not a convincing win, but I take it. I don't know. That's convincing. I get it. It was a game of two halves. One horrible, you can say for me, not really horrible half because I watched the half. We weren't that good in the first half, but it wasn't that bad either, in my opinion. Especially the intensity in the second half. But nice to see you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And people, if you're watching, if you haven't, go check out Almighty Blues AFC. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Nice to see you, bro. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Let's hear you, Tepejo. Your favorite Eden Hazard moment. It's his birthday, so let's round off with that. Let's hear you, and now hear Bobby, and then we'll move on to the match review proper. Let's hear you, Tepejo.
I'm gonna say the goal he scored against West Ham United. Oh my gosh. You remember that goal?
Yep, it was on the carpet. It was who
Yes.
was that? I think there was did we have a new player? I think we had a new player that was an owl, as in that wasn't couldn't believe how he did that. Who was that? I
I
can't quite
forgot
remember, but
about
go
it.
ahead.
Yeah, that goal he scored against West Ham. Delicious. I
It was.
loved it. Delicious.
It was delicious, and it was about the finish was about placement. It wasn't about power. I think he opened his body up and placed it. I think it was to the right hand side. It was on the left hand side a bit. It was a delicious finish. Yeah, I liked that one too. A good solo goal. Who was it? Pedro, or that was like how did he? Was it Pedro? Or was it the former Juventus striker, Argentine international? I can't quite remember. There was a player that was looking at him and couldn't believe he did that. Or was it a youngster in our team? I can't quite remember. But that's by the way. Let's see this one here. Good energy today on Hazard narrative, guys. And that's Mordecai. Nice to see you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. We had to work harder to keep the ball in the first half, and we didn't create consistently as a team with the ball. But we had good intensity at the start of the game. I think first 15 minutes, or at least first 5 to 10 minutes, good intensity in my opinion. But I watched it again. Yep, and the second half changed when our back line moved up. That changed, and Constantine Dante complained that was actually the issue during the members only halftime show. And lo and behold, we did that and we played better and got goals in quick succession, in my opinion. The solo goal against Arsenal, one of the best solo goals ever. Because that was like from the center circle. He mopped he mopped the floor with Francis Coquelin. I can remember that quite vividly. Bobby, let's hear you or just let's hear your favorite Eden Hazard moment before we move on to the match review proper.
Yeah, for me, his best moments, or the ones that stick out very much in my mind, are
Mm,
against our London rivals. The solo goal against Arsenal, where he did it himself, really dribbled everyone and scored. Funny that the media never talk about that goal, and they never talk about the 6-0 against Arsenal either. Anyway, we move on, and then another one, of course, the one against West Ham. That was another act of magic. That was what he could just do. He would just bring up a moment of magic, and the goal that stopped Spurs from winning the league in the Battle of the Bridge.
And
Another
won it for Leicester, right?
yeah, another moment of magic from Eden Hazard. So there are several. Maybe some have escaped our mind, but certainly it will be hard to push any that's better than either of those three goals that came from him.
Hmm.
Magnificent player. He really was a great player for us. He took his time. He didn't start off like he finished. It took him a couple of seasons to become that player, and he because he came to us young. The thing that helped him was that he came to a more settled side, so he could develop a bit more in the background. And he wasn't playing game in, game out when he first came as well. It
Hmm.
took him a while. There were things he had to learn. Mourinho almost stunted his game by trying to make him a bit of a left back, or was it Conte? Either one of those. I think it was Conte. Yeah, Conte was trying to force him to be a left back, and indeed he played left back in some games. That's what people tend to forget. But it really wasn't him. It was a waste of inordinate talent to leave that guy in a defensive position. He needs to be offensive all the way. And when he was, what a magnificent player for us. So happy birthday to him for sure.
Yeah, more importantly, happy birthday to you, and have to thank you for that, Bobby. The solo goal, that solo goal was special, but I still take that one that stopped Tottenham from winning the league, and won it for Leicester City. I take that one. Coach Constantine Dante with the W, great stuff. What did I miss? What did I miss with the win over what? What did I miss there? Ty, can you elaborate? What are you talking about there?
I was talking about peace. He said that in the members only
Oh, during the halftime
halftime
game.
show. Yeah, what he said, and then that changes what happened,
Yeah.
and that helped us win. So I'm saying that was a W. That's a good coaching moment.
Yeah, it was a good observation from him. It made sense. Yeah, and the manager made the right changes. And I'm gonna say I'll give him credit yesterday. Is he out for 3 weeks or just precaution? According to Fabrice Hawkins, nothing that serious. It's just a precaution. We've addressed that, but I'm gonna go back to it in a bit. Just give me a second here. This says Fabrice Hawkins here saying Christopher Nkunku's injury, hip injury, is nothing serious. If all goes well, he'd be available for selection against Middlesbrough or Fulham. It was just prevention. He is fine. So maybe he felt something, and then the club felt, the manager felt like, okay, no need to risk any. Let's just take a break and treat that. Let's see. I didn't realize how young you are. Was watching one of your videos. Oh,
Wow,
you didn't know? Okay.
wow,
But thank
wow.
you for
That's
finding the
sad.
time to go support him. That goes a long way too. I am again of legal age. Just go away. What's that? Is this? I'm not reading that, please. Let's come to you. Let's come to you. The coolest Charles, Tabejo. The question I want to ask you is this. For me, I'd say it was a masterclass from the manager. And I'm going to say something that Roger says all the time. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If we lost, a lot of blame will fall on him. With one, I think we need to give him some credit. Raheem Sterling stayed on and scored. Thiago Silva came on and helped us. You can say you help us calm things down a bit and got a goal too. I'd say give him credit. I think he did everything right. He read it and he reacted on time. Not as late as you can say he's done in the past. But let's hear you. I think he deserves some credit. Tabejo, if you're there.
Yeah, man. Fans before the game, oh, we need to win 4-5, no excuses, right? Then we won the game. Oh, Pochettino doesn't know how to do tactics. It's awful. We won because of individual brilliance. Come on, what are we doing here? When we lose a game, it's because of Pochettino. When we won, it's the individual brilliance. Really? Come on. But overall, the first half wasn't good. We had some chances, we couldn't score, but overall the first half was boring, and the second half was better because we moved the ball with more speed, more energy, and creating a lot of chances. So overall, I'm happy with the performance, and we won 4-0. I don't care what people say. This is a knockout game. No matter what the result, if you won 1-0, 2-0, as long we go to the next round. That's it. We done the job. We move to the next round.
Yeah, I think he did well. And it wasn't like, even though I wasn't too sure what changes he was going to make, given what we had, the players we had on the bench on that day. But for me, he did well. Let's say you, Bobby, if you're there, what do you think? I think the manager deserves a lot of credit. He did well. If you feel like he's not been reacting to games on time. I think he did that on time, and the changes were spot on. He changed the game with the changes he made. But let's hear you. And if you're in the chat, I'm quite sure in the chat you heard the question. So let's hear you. I think the manager deserves some credit. But Bobby, let's hear you.
Yeah, my brother. Listen, as I've said, I've adopted a more patient tone with the obvious reconfiguration project that's going on at Chelsea, and the
Mhm.
manager is part of that. I love Constantin Dante. I like the way you say your name. I love his blue Chelsea blood. I love his faithfulness to the show. He's been with this show, I think, almost from the beginning. He's a top geezer. However, I disagree with his point, or if it was his point, I've forgotten who posted it, but about Pochettino will be exposed. I don't think that's right. I don't mean it in terms of having that opinion. I just mean it in terms of the fact that he's not going to be exposed per se in the tone with which the expose is
Mhm.
intended. I think Pochettino is doing a good job with the project at hand. And, we've had obstacles. Let me reiterate myself. The injuries are an almighty obstacle. The fact that they're new, the fact that they're young, we're going to have this. You know what I mean? We're
Mhm.
meeting a team that we normally would struggle with. And in the first half, we're showing signs of our known deficiencies. But in the second half, with the input of the coach and the utilization of the quality of the players, we then show more of what we're about. This team is in development, it's in process. It's going to be up, down, good, brilliant, and then shaky. At the moment, we're leaning more to the side of good performances. And the barometer of that is what we do with so called weaker teams, like your Prestons of this world, like your, dare I even say, it, Crystal Palace of this world. People think that win against Palace was an easy feat. Palace are a damn difficult team to take care of. And, now we have to now learn how to defeat your Nottingham Forests of this world, big burly players, low block, looking to hit you on the break, and big headers in the box. And bit by bit, this team will evolve to start to attack the integrity or the talent of the manager. I think at this point is very, very premature and very unfair. Allow him to develop. Do you know the funny thing about this? For years, Chelsea fans have been saying, oh, we need a coach to come in. We need to be patient. We need to allow him to build his team. Oh, we're too trigger happy. We're yada, 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 yada. Now we have that coach. Now we're allowing him. He's showing us the signs that he can do this, even in difficult situations. However, I'm not saying Pochettino is perfect. I didn't even want him in the beginning, dare I say it. On this show, I really went for him because of the Spurs connection, if I may add. But do you know what? In preseason, he showed me he was a man with a plan. He showed me he was a man with some capability. And because of the youth of this team And because of the developmental stage we are at, he truly, I believe, and I'm not an oracle of total correctness every time, but I believe he's the right man at this time. He works with youngsters. He's probably the best person to work with youngsters. He's teaching them tactical abilities. He's evolving, may I use that word, with this team. We have to be patient and we have to understand that sometimes when the bad results come, as painful and as almost precarious as they are, it's part of what to expect. I think considering what we've been through, we've had more good than bad with this young new team. We really have. So I will stand to encourage him until he really, unless he does a Graham Potter, then of course, like everybody else, the knives are out, aren't they?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think something people fail to understand. Preston is a sort of team when we play them, we struggle. They are that sort of team. They are not one of the big boys. Then when you play them, you can expect us to play well. Um, but yeah, and that's because Charity FC is well and truly in existence. But I'm happy. That's actually low key a big win. It's a low key big win, and I'm seeing signs. We've beaten a few teams that a lot of people, for the fear of a Charity FC, didn't expect us to beat. The proof is Coachino was there in this game, first half and then a second half. Yeah, he did the right thing to fix it. He paid attention, and I give him credit for that. Nkunku not out for 3 weeks is fake. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. No, Poch does not deserve credit. Really, it doesn't matter the team you beat, because had we lost to them, yeah, he'd be in more trouble. So better give him credit now that he beat them. But Nemaya, thank you for that update. And BRZ, my sweet brother, nice to see you. When Poch changed Gilchrist in Mudrik for Thiago Silva and Madrique, I was asking myself, why not the Sassi and Stalin? Then he proves me he is the manager, and yeah, I am the fan. And here's the over time, I've started to adopt the behavior of not judging the manager. I'll ask questions. I say, okay, let's see how that works out, and that's because he's the one that sees these players week in week out on the training pitch. So if he's made a decision, he knows why he's making that decision. I only ask questions when it doesn't work, and if the selection doesn't work, and he does nothing to change things around, that's when I ask questions. And he did his job yesterday, and believe me, he did well. Let's just give him credit. And you know me quite well to know that I've never said that he's been perfect. My hope is that he learns from his mistakes, and there are multitude of reasons why I will always come to his defense until we have every player available, all our players available for selection. Then I'll start looking complaining if he's playing players out of position and not doing that just to, you can say, because he has to improvise. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Be nice to see you. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. Tiger will expose. I will be exposing Poch. I dig a long ago. Let's hear that. I can't wait for that video. Once it's out, I will be one of those to go watch it. Yep, be right back. Let's see. I agree with Bobby. Poch did take 6 months with Tottenham, and then he started to get results. Not just Tottenham. There's a pattern to that. He's had a difficult start to life in every club he's coached. I don't know about PSG though, but at Southampton, Tottenham, and then the Spanish club, I can't quite remember which one exactly. Here's an omen for you. The last time Chelsea faced Preston, they won 2-0 in the FA Cup, which was 2010, and then they went on to win the FA Cup. I hope so. I hope we do that. I'll take it. I read Poch book, and with Southampton and Spurs, after the 6 months, he started to get understanding of his players, or maybe his players started to get use of his, you could say, difficult training regime. Maybe that's just me speculating anyway. I know nothing about that. But that's, by the way, Ty. I don't know if you've spoken. What was the last question again? And we haven't heard you. I'm not sure you talked about that. What was the last question, Ty?
Bobby was the last person.
Yeah, what was that? And what was that he talks about? Favorite Eden Hazard moment? I think you've talked about that too. Oh, the manager. Let's
The
hear you.
match.
Yeah, the manager. Don't you think the manager deserves some credit? Not you can say a lot of credit for how he reacted quickly to the issues we were having on the pitch yesterday, which changed a lot. I think he deserves credit, a lot of credit. But let's hear you, Ty.
He deserves credit because two of the goal scorers that scored, one was brought on, one remained on the pitch, and people had an outrage on about that. We were saying that the Sassy was supposed to come off instead of Gilchrist, and that's not what happened. Silva came on for Alfie, and then he saw I think who was it? Was it I don't know who came on from Madueke, but essentially Sterling stayed on. He scored a free kick. I think the goalkeeper should be better, but still a goal. And obviously Silva scores a header. But yeah, Pochettino deserves some credit because it takes a manager to realize, a good manager rather, to realize that um the setup, the system and the philosophy isn't working, so you need to change it in order for you
Hmm.
to get a win. I'm sure that a lot of fans would have viewed the match as an upset is going to happen here. It looks as if it's going to be one of those type of days where we lose 1-0, or there'll be a cheeky 2-0 loss. So yes, he deserves credit. I know a lot of people, and I can understand what Tobago is saying about when you win games, it's the players, and when we lose games, it's the manager. And sometimes I think like that because I'm saying that we're very contradictory. We contradict ourselves numerous times. We tend to give credit to the manager if well, we don't give him credit when we win games. We tend to blame him when we lose games, and we don't hold any player accountable for the loss. But when it comes on to winning games, it's just the players. But if the manager doesn't set up the team a certain way, there's no way that we win games. Yes, there's going to be individual brilliance, but that's what a lot of managers do. At the end of the day, and if you think about it, in order for you to win games, there has to be brilliance. There has to be an individual that decides to do something brilliant. Obviously the manager is not going to say, okay, in the fifth minute, put a cross here. In the 10th minute, you and Sterling should do a 1-2 here, and then see the pass by Madueke who's going to be running. That's not what happens. So obviously there is going to be that, but the manager is responsible for the team setting up a certain way so that there's patterns that can be created. There's linkages that can occur as well. So we're contradictory, but I mean he does deserve credit because he made substitutions and he decided to keep certain players on, and as a result things happened that led to the win. And I can understand people being frustrated because I'm somewhat frustrated with the fact that Gusto is being wasted on the left. I mean, he's doing okay on the left, but that's not his position. And I've talked about it before. Him playing on the left is it's kind of limiting his game because he has to be turning his body at a
Hmm.
certain angle so that he can distribute the ball on his right foot, which is just play him on the right because that's the ideal side for him to distribute the ball with. So yes, Pochettino made decisions, and because of his decisions, we won the game. Gusto being on the left allowed for that cross to Broha, who opened the scoring. So yes, he deserves credit. And I know people would like to be biased. They would like to not give credit to the manager, but he deserves some credit because he recognized his errors and he corrected them.
Yeah, you made an excellent point. The manager get a lot of blame when we lose games. And yep, I agree. We should use the same energy because we blame. Had we lost that game, he'd be in serious trouble right now. You'd see a lot of nonsense on social media. Some call him a fraud. Some say all sorts of names. I don't want to get into that. But his thing. I think I agree with you, Ty. We should use the same energy with which we blame him when we lose game to praise him when we win games when he does something good. but that's just my opinion anyway. Unfortunately, to be, I don't know. Have you talked about whether you think we should give the manager some credit? Some people don't think we should. Some still think he's awful. But let's say if you haven't spoken about that, otherwise I'm going to go ahead to get what we have in the chat so we can get to the manager preview proper, match review proper. Go ahead.
I I think on Friday, Spurs played very well, and then we should credit their coach for winning 1-0 with
Mm-hmm.
that
Boro.
Pedro Borogu, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is football. This is cup game. Who cares about individual brilliance and everything? All we need to do is just win the game and move to the next round. Simple as that. So let's say, for example, on Tuesday, if we will lose, we'll be losing with individual brilliance, right? Keep the same energy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you keep the same energy. Don't just pick and choose. Yeah, when we lose a game, then you'll all be on the manager's case, calling him all sorts of names. I don't think it makes sense, really. And this year, a few steps are in the right direction, coach, and I'll take it. It is something. And by the way, we've won how many 6 home games in a row? Three on the bounce. Plus, we've beaten a few teams that aren't big boys. Because the concern a month ago or two was that we were only able to play well against the big boys, and we struggle against mid-table teams, or you can say second division teams and all that. But look how of late we've beaten those teams. So to me, I think we've taken a good few good steps in the right direction, and I hope we keep moving. Um, it took me 4 months of deliberation before I purchased the train ticket. I am not selling it in 2 weeks, but let us see if good management sticks. Let's see if it sticks. I think, and I hope and pray that we don't have too many injury issues, because that will be an issue. I'm hoping that we continue in this direction. The players that are injured a lot sometimes is actually wrong with the medical team sacked. Okay. Uh, Look at Pulisic. He's not injured again, and it's actually at Milan. Okay. Flip a flopping fraud coach. That was the term. His sin. Do I think he flip flops? I'd say yes. I agree to that. But my argument is, beside that, yeah, you know that quite well. But that's by the way. Let's get into the game proper. And see, there you go. Let's look at start by looking at the numbers. Yeah, we're through to the fourth round of the FA Cup with a 4-0 win over Preston for the first okay, for the first 55 minutes or so. It was actually a tight game, that's the truth, with both sides struggling to find a breakthrough. And things flipped on their head when Broya got on the end of Gusto's cross, a delicious cross actually. So yeah, I think this is correct, but I'm not here to read that. Let's look at the numbers and see the statistics, what they tell us.
Coach,
Yeah, yeah, of course. Possession, that's nothing. Expected goals, 4.07. Wow.
that's the
Not
most he's ever been.
yeah. Is it really? Is that the most we've ever had?
Well, it has. It's in a while. It has. That's what I know.
So, yeah, okay. So expected goals was a total shot, so to speak, 24 to theirs 4. Shots on target, 12 of us to theirs
Wow.
2. So it's a deserved win for us. But I know people emotions were high after the first half, given the fact that we didn't score goals, and actually had we had about 3 clear cut opportunities that we didn't put away. Go ahead, Ty. Were you saying something?
Yeah, that's it. I realized the ratings. It's been a while since I've seen all the players getting at least a 7 rating.
Hmm. Yeah. All. Yeah. I think the least there. Which one is that? 7. I think 7.1.
Damn,
Which is
Madueke is
Mudrik. Yeah.
down, but doesn't matter.
Even though he didn't finish the game. Yeah. Yeah, so I think we did well in this game, in my opinion. But because we did not score a goal, we take our chances in the first half. It was easy to just conclude it was an awful half. We created good clear-cut chances. One was from Enzo Fernandez had an opportunity with the header. You could argue that he couldn't do much to add more power to it, or you said didn't place it, just nodded it straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, and it was a deflected cross that came to him. Amanda Broya, I think he was it. Cold Palmer missed one. I think Broya missed one too. We could have used to finish the first half by 3-0. And had that been the case, I don't think people would be complaining much. But here's the thing: I need to watch the game again. But I still, at the time, thought we started the game well. The only thing we didn't do was just take our chances. But maybe we thought we'd mop the floor with Preston players from the start of the game. They are humans too. They didn't come to watch the game. They did well in the first half. Let's see. Before I continue looking at the numbers we have up there, let's see. Ask Bobby. What does he think of Jordan Henderson joining Chelsea on loan? We don't need him. I think why do we need them? But I'll ask him the question anyway. A lot maybe. A little flowers, a present, a ceremony, nothing much. Wow, that's insulting, really. Oh, I thought so. Just go away. Big up, coach. A good win yesterday, but that first half, Poch must fix up playing players out of position. Needs to stop. Gusto is looking more of a bargain every time he plays. Before time, I knew it was a bargain purchase. I remember we weren't the only club looking at him at the time. He just wanted to come to Chelsea. Yeah, and I think he's explained of late that his family are mainly Chelsea fans. That's not quoting him directly, but something to that effect. But that's, by the way. Let's hear you, Bobby. This question for you. Which one was it? Ask Bobby. What was it? Ask Bobby. What does he think of Jordan Henderson joining Chelsea? Let's hear you, Bobby. Do you want that to happen? I'd say no.
Jordan Henderson, the
Mhm.
goalkeeper, you mean?
Jordan Henderson, no. Henderson, the former Liverpool player, now plays in
Oh, no,
Saudi
no, no,
Arabia.
no,
Yeah, I
no,
think so. Yeah.
no.
Am I mixing
That's
things up here?
yeah, the one. Sorry, I don't know why I have my mind on that former Man United, now Crystal Palace goalkeeper that once
Oh,
upon a
okay,
time you
okay.
were looking at. No, Jordan Henderson to Chelsea is just it's just a non-starter. It's a foolish retrogressive step. No, I don't see any value in that at the age of what? No, that's you may as well go and bring back Saul Niguez.
And that's another story. Let's see. I've talked about this and I've read this one. And I says, Coach, I don't like when a jury misses the best starts a presenting ceremony. Something has turned his head. He's not under contract. He's not signed any contract with Chelsea Perspective. He has his own YouTube channel, and yeah, probably still in the UK. So he's not obliged to be here. He can be here only when he wants to, or rather we say somebody has done. It's not. I don't care. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Let's see. Big chances, 6 in total for us, 0 for theirs. So it was actually a deserved win for us. Fouls committed, 9 in total for them, 7 for us, and 8 corners in total, and we scored with 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 corners for them. So it was a dominant performance, actually, in my opinion. I don't think there's anything else to look here, but we want to start looking at the players' numbers. And if you want us to do player ratings and you're in the chat, you let me know. Maybe we'll try to do that. Let's see. Matty Cash for us, Bobby. Please. We're not doing that right now. This is not Q&A at the moment. For me, Tabejo. What else? Do you have anything else you want to say, or do you want us to start looking at the numbers of the players to see how well they did? And let's actually talk about
Can I
Georgie.
just say something? Can
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
just quickly get? Look, there's nothing happened yesterday that shouldn't have happened, and that doesn't befit our status as Chelsea Football Club. But the point
Mhm.
we're making is that the fact that we were able to live up to our status as Chelsea Football Club, because of the process of development, we haven't always been able to do that, and have often, so well, I wouldn't say often, have on occasion fell flat on our face in the face of this sort of team. So the kudos goes to the fact that we were able to stand up and be counted and show who we are, despite a poor first half. Would you say that's a correct analogy
Absolutely.
of what we?
Absolutely. And I think I've said that. I did say that myself also. It is, Bobby. Here's the thing. This is actually, I see this as a big win. My concern has always been the factor Charity FC, or the phenomenon, for lack of a better language, but I think it's a phenomenon, really. And my definition of it, it's a mentality thing, a situation you say where we go into games with the mindset because it's Preston, we've won that game already. Yeah. And this is the FA Cup where any team can beat any team. We've seen that before. So I'm happy. For me, it's a big win. And the numbers show actually it was a dominant performance for us. We won, and we won in a big way. Could have scored up to 7 goals. That's how I see it. It was a big win. And let's say, Tobeho, if you're there, the fact that we beat Preston shouldn't be taken for granted. I get it on paper even before the game. People thought, yeah, it's you can say it's a walk in the park, but it hasn't been that easy for us, and we beat them, and beat them handsomely, for lack of a better language. I'll say it was a big win. Yeah, no matter how anybody sees it, and you can say we're making progress. We've beaten those sort of teams. You can say the non-big boys of late, about 3 of them. But let's say Tobeho. When you say it was a big win,
I agree with you, coach. In football, no matter what people say, there's no a small club or a small team. It's 11 against 11. That means anything can happen. Because in the FA Cup, we saw underdogs defeating big teams, right? So
mhm,
overall, it's a big win for us. It's a good step. We are moving in the right direction. We kept a clean sheet. Hopefully, again on Tuesday we keep another clean sheet and win. We win also. Simple as that.
yeah, I do agree with you. I would take it, honestly. Ty, you have anything to add to that? It's simple. It was a big win, in all honesty, because had we lost that game, it'd be all the discussion would be all about how bad Pochettino, yeah, he's been. But let's say you tie, a big win for you, or do you think, no, you could say maybe it was a given that we win that game, that because that's how a lot of people sound. Like, yeah, it's our birthright to go beat them. But let's hear you, Ty. Okay, looks like it's that sort of days when Ty isn't. He's left his desk.
Coach,
Let's
one
hear.
thing.
Yeah.
You said you mentioned something and then you forget to talk about it. That
Which
journalist from France, Julien Laurent, something like that, talking
is
nonsense
that? Is that
about
his name? Is that
Chelsea.
Julian Lauren
Is him talking
that
nonsense
talked
about
about how much
Chelsea?
you spent? Yeah. What's up with him? But go ahead, talk about him.
This guy, since Mauricio Pochettino been at PSG, he have a beef on him. So every time he talks, I don't take him seriously. Check every time he talk about Mauricio Pochettino, he won't mention good things. Always talk nonsense about him. So overall, man, I don't understand. Chelsea should not invite this kind of people into our club. They're creating negative things that they're feeding fan base negative information, and then their fans are liking it. So this
Yeah.
guy,
Big, say big names on X. They're amplifying that nonsense. But go ahead.
yes, I'm so tired of this. But anyway, since they're on X too, I'm entitled to cook them, right? I'm going to cook them.
Mhm. Cook. Honestly, it's cook. Don't even look back. I want to hear you cook, man. I think he sounds like probably he doesn't understand football. All he does is just bash Chelsea all the time. How much we spend, how a single player on our end costs how much. You can say that the is can measure the cost of the entire Preston team. That was wow. You're a pundit, man. Talk about football and not how much we spent. Talk about the game. He couldn't do that, and I made sure I waited to see his face when the game ended. He's just full of horse doo doo. Okay, there you go. For Bobby, there you demand that. There you go. All right, let's see. It's not a big win. In my opinion, that's how I see it. But Constantine Dante, you have every right to say, okay, you don't think it's a big win. But do I have the right to see it as a big win? It's a big win. It's a cup game. Yeah, we're on to the next round. It does to me. I see it as a big win. More importantly, for the fact that we played a team that's not considered one of the big boys, and we beat them, which is the sort of teams we seem to struggle against. That's my point here. Which we've talked about Charity FC quite a lot on this on Chelsea perspective. It's an issue. It's a mentality issue. The fact that we turned it up and beat them, it's a good sign. So, which means maybe, hopefully, from given our progress of late in terms of beating the non-big boy teams, non-big boys teams. For lack of, I'm not sure if that's correct. It's a good sign that we'll start seeing a situation where we beat teams that we're supposed to beat and not talk about Charity FC anymore. That's why I'm saying it's a big win. We need to replace Ian Matson. Who do you think we should go for? Bobby, I think Bobby's knowledge and intelligence with great interest also. Coach, you have a lot of knowledge too. Okay, thank you there. I've always said, and I actually have a video. I like Theo Hernandez. I would take him. That's my choice. But we'll get to that in a bit. We'll get to the question and answer aspect of the show in a bit. Let's see what else we have here. It's a standard procedure. That's the issue. And if the players start to think that way, it becomes a problem. If the players start to take games for granted and see, okay, we're playing Millwall, or I don't know how you pronounce that, or maybe we're playing you could say Bali, and we should beat them. It's the given. The 3 points is ours. If they go into games with that mindset, that they're not going to do enough to win. Subconsciously, they will not do enough to win the game. That's my concern. That's why I say, yeah, I'm seeing these are kids actually. These are not experienced enough. We've all also talked. I think the last time we talked about something to that effect was when we lost. Was it to Everton or Newcastle United? That we talked about how they probably went into the game with the mindset, that the 3 points are ours for the taking. That no matter how badly we play, not putting in the work needed to win a game, but taking things for granted. That's why I say it's a big win. It's a sign that maybe we start seeing the mentality, the kids, because kids will always be kids, but it looks like the mentality is being polished. It's becoming even better. They learn to put in the work needed to win games and not take games for granted because they're playing against a Preston. That's why I said it's a big win for me. It has nothing to do with the size of the club we played against. I'm quite sure you understand that, but I enjoyed the conversation. Julian said the same thing, which we observed in the first half, but with a different angle. The distance between our back and our front line were too large, and Enzo couldn't connect the dotted lines. But I think if he had just said that and stopped, fine. But yeah, he said more with regards to how much we spent to compare to you could say the value of the entire Preston team, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying his thing. It's just sometimes he overdoes it, and maybe he doesn't like Mauricio Pochettino. Yeah, it was clear. Even if you didn't know that he didn't like him, you'd find out that was the case if you listen to him talk about Chelsea's performance. Julian saw that with a different perspective, but he was correct. Okay, if that's what you want to do about that, that's fine. But Poch corrected the setup in the second half, and everything changed. I think Julian would agree. Here's the thing. My argument is I think you heard what I said. Anyway, let me move on. Coach, you know that Preston is not in the first division, right? I know. but do you understand my own point? That's the question. Do you understand my own point? Yeah, I'm talking about the mentality issue we've had, where players such games we don't turn up. We end it as well, we end the game the way we started, and then you see people. A lot of people talk about Charity FC. That's where I'm concerned. Ty, let's hear you. Is this? Would you say this is a big win for you? Would you say yeah? Do you think otherwise? Let's hear you. Your opinion. Let's hear your opinion, Ty, if you're there. All right. I don't know, Bobby. It doesn't look like Ty is there. Bobby, I don't know if you have anything to add to this. Yeah.
Funny thing, our fans forgot that their favorite coach, Thomas Tuchel, lost 2-1 to a fifth division or fourth division club in Germany. They forget about that, right? With experienced players. I think our fans should always remember this. We want to have a consistent results because we have so many kids. They need to develop, they need to grow, but it takes time, no matter what you think. At the same time, yes, and then if we put a different manager to our club, they'll struggle to with these injuries. It's not helping. For example, look at Newcastle. Last season, Newcastle were doing brilliantly. They didn't have much, so many injuries. Now they're struggling because of those injuries. It's affecting them. It's affecting their progress. But they won't say that because it's Newcastle, it's not Chelsea.
All right, breaking news. Is saying Christopher Nkunku will be in the squad for the next Chelsea match. Like we've learned, it's nothing serious from what we read before. Let's see. I saw a news saying
that's so
Nkunku
funny.
already...
All this is so funny.
Go ahead, Ty.
That's very funny. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's out for at least 3 weeks due to a hip injury," and now we're hearing something else. I'm waiting for Chelsea to say something.
Yeah, from the Santi JFM. I'm not sure, but I can't. You can say I'm inclined. You can say to believe Fabrice Hawkins. He's connected to the French national team, so probably he may well be saying the truth. But we'll find out. The standards have dropped. I understand. I guess that's another way to see it. But if you understand my point, my argument is that that game, the sort of game we usually lose. So I'm happy that so I see it as a big game because we're overcoming an issue. If you get my point, I didn't hear his statement about spending, coach. That is going overboard indeed. Yeah, but I get if every other thing you said that was correct. Yeah, but I understand, bro. It's that time of the year. Jerry, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well. This says I agree with Coach with Preston came there to get a replay or win. They actually played like they want to win, and had we, you could say, if we didn't change things around in the second half, chances are they'd get a goal and that's it. And had they scored before us, I think would be with we'll be discussing a different outcome right now. By using the low block on us, they didn't actually defend deep during the start of the game. They didn't. They played like they came to play. They attacked us really. Let's see what else we have here. Julian Lauren supports Arsenal and PSG, so fans shouldn't expect anything good from him. But sometimes you just try the best you can to be objective always, and not just show that you dislike something about a particular club or talk about the game alone and the game alone. I think the fans should realize by now and stop believing everything coming out in the statement. A lot of flip-flops out there. The manager himself flip-flops. They were not really low block. Yep, I think you and I can agree with today. But the breaking news is that Christopher Nkunku will be in the Chelsea squad next Chelsea match. That's from Santi JFM. I don't know him. And Ty, if you're there, let's hear your opinion on whether you consider the game a big win. Do you think, do you think otherwise?
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Do you consider the win against Preston a big win, or do you think otherwise?
It is a big win because we're in another round of the FA Cup. We're we're still in a competition where a trophy and prize money will be awarded. So it is a big win. I don't understand. I'm gonna say this, and it may be harsh, but the we our standards need to be adjusted, because, well, I don't think that's the right way
Mhm.
to say it. We need to accept that Chelsea are in a mediocre state. They're in mediocrity. So therefore, you saying that you're above, or you view the club as being above these cups. They have historical value, and they're the only way we're gonna be able to win a trophy this season. So whether or not you think that winning a FA Cup or a Carabao Cup is important in comparison to the Premier League or the Champions League or whatever other European competition there is, is accept that we are in transition. We're in a state of being poor. We have a very young team. We have a team that are inconsistent. So we have to accept that right now the standard that we're at is not acceptable for the historical Chelsea. And even the historical Chelsea had its struggles before it had the success that most fans in this era are known are able to know. So yes, it is a big win. I know people are saying, oh, it's the standard, or it's expected. Yeah, it's expected from the old Chelsea, the old era Chelsea. This is a different era of Chelsea. Literally, it's a new team, new manager, new coach, new owners, new setup. So obviously, the standard, or what the historical Chelsea is not the same anymore, because we're not the same Chelsea. It's obvious. We've become a mid-table club. It's simple as that.
Yeah, it's something you said. It's a huge win for these kids. And we're not talking about the size of the club, more importantly. And let me say this, before the Arsenal Invisibles were the Preston Invisibles. I learned that yesterday too. Yeah, they won the first edition of what league in what one in particular, and didn't lose any game at all. They weren't really a low block. Kuchila, the code is too hot to hand, and that's hilarious. But Jerry, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. And the Tiger has shared the link to your YouTube channel, and people will go check it out there. Let's see what else we have. Big up, Jerry. Let's see what else we have here. Yep, I like the love there. We shouldn't be fighting each other. It's a win, but a big win against the second division side. Like I said, it has nothing. You can say the reason I'm calling it a big win is that it has nothing to do with the size of the club we played against. The fact that Kai has added to it, actually, we have kids, inexperienced, and the match we won are, you can say, it's a sort of game we usually lose, and a lot of people were concerned that that may actually be the case. So it's a big win in the sense that you're seeing that the mentality of the players, you can say, is improving. At least we can say that's the case now, because we've won a few of those games. We've won, beaten a few of the big boy teams, and as you can see, if you looked at them, we had issues, and we were able to overcome those issues to still win the games. So to me, I still see it as a big win, if you get my point. But yeah, sorry, for me, it doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, you don't have to say sorry. That's why we're here. Go ahead, Ty.
Coach. No. This is the thing, and I think a lot of people, they use words and they don't understand what it means in its entirety. A big win literally means you have achieved something, you a great achievement, and this is a great achievement because we have progressed to another round. We have progressed in a competition where we could potentially win it and see the club lift a trophy. That is a big win. It's not about the size of the clubs, or the fact that one is in a top flight league and the other one is in the second division, or whatever the case may be. It's a big win because it's an achievement. It's a great achievement that could potentially lead to the club winning a trophy and lifting a trophy at the end of the season, or close to the end of the season. So I don't understand. People use the words and they don't know. They only think that it's a big win when it's against big clubs. A big win is essentially you getting a great achievement so that you can have success. That is literally what it is. But people only use it in
And
some
again,
ways,
I have to
and
also,
that's
I have to
we're
also
guilty
go
of
ahead,
doing
Ty.
that. We
Sorry.
only use words when it benefits our argument.
Go ahead, Ty. Just give me 1 second. Here's something else I want to say quickly. 105,000 revenue prize money for winning. Yeah, that alone comes into play for winning third round. And that's not including the rights and attendance of the game. Big up. I have my bro in the house, Glenn 10. Big up, coach and legends in the chat. I appreciate you finding the time to join us this particular morning. I hope you're doing well, Glenn. I meant TV rights. Okay, thank you for that. That surely deserves a breaking news. Constantine Dante, you better tell what's you call him his name, Rich Money Makers, to always say breaking news. Otherwise, he's gonna be banned. Blue Clouds analysis. Jay-Z saying that Coachella, I am offering a giveaway of £150 on your show if we don't secure the sixth position. Okay. Okay. I heard that, and I'm sure a lot of people saw that. Wow. Stop the press. Tapping. Let's move on. Let's see what else we have here. Smash the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel. The likes to go a long way. And Constantine Dante saying, okay, you can spin big wins in many ways. That's another way to put it. And again, we'll all see things from different lenses. Your opinion matters. My opinion matters. But I've explained what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with the size of the club that we defeated. If that makes sense, it's all good. I get it. All good too. I see where you're coming from, but I'm trying to explain, and that's why we have a show, bro. So nothing. And don't say sorry when you express yourself, your opinion. Coach, imagine if okay, Golden tapped in the goal. Or Brea crossbar went in front of goal. You will be having a giveaway for five goals. No, but you said 5-3. You said 5-3. You're a good motivator. Let's have a giveaway target every time. We can. Each time, if you win, then yeah, $5 to the giveaway account. We did talk about that yesterday. But Houston, this is for really. Bobby, let's hear you. Do you consider that win against Preston a big win, or do you think otherwise? If you think it was a big win, let us know why you think that's the case, Bobby. Let's hear you.
I think, just as Ty said, there's a temptation for people to over elaborate and to be too focused on the word big. It is a big win for us in context of where we are, what we're doing, and the significance of the progression in a competition that we need. Let's forget about the prize money, which is really a paltry sum for a club like Chelsea, but the fact is, income is income. And the fact that another opportunity for us to exercise the team, if it's not an opportunity to blood some youngsters, that is depending on who we meet. And the fact that it's a bit of a indicator that there is a progression going on, albeit up and down because of the injuries, and I hold no shame in saying that. Because of the injuries, our progression is up and down, but our progression is true and is happening. So if it is classed a big win, I would absolutely endorse that. I would say personally a significant win, but that's just language. So a big win is an appropriate way to address what happened yesterday because there was a possibility it didn't happen. And we have in the past fluffed our lines. But showing that we've got three consecutive wins in a row, whoever the opposition is, you can only beat what's put in front of you. And we have shown that, okay, the first half wasn't great, but you know, this quest and demand for perfection from a team that is not as rehearsed as so many other teams, for every other team in the league, and they're not perfect, I think is absolutely ridiculous. I think we need to give time. This is the first time I believe I've ever stood on a platform and endorsed time for Chelsea. These youngsters need time. This is the path we've taken, and not without good reason. We took this pathway because of FFP, and so we intelligently invested in the cream of the crop, the best young talents in the world, the greatest potentials in the world, and we brought them together. There's no magic here. It's just going to be, you know, it's like you want a lovely dish, as you know, people always refer to cooking. You want to eat a lovely meal. Well, it's got to get cooked. As simple as that. If not, what you're going to eat is just garbage, raw ill-prepared, unprepared ingredients. So what we're doing is cooking the ingredients, and we still need to add more ingredients. Hence the talk of the transfer window. We need time. My prayer for the season is to please God. I always dream, so let's just say win a Champions League spot. I've got to be honest. I still bear that in my heart, but if we don't and we remain in the league, I'll accept that. If we can fluke a cup, I keep using the word fluke, if we can, because I think that is huge. Jose Mourinho came to Chelsea with an armada of players at his disposal, and he was having sleepless nights for the Carling Cup back then because he knows the significance of winning something. You win something, it gives you the DNA and the potential to win more things. So winning a cup
That's also highlighting one of the reasons why it was a big win.
it is. Oh, yes, there you go. It was a big win, the Carling Cup back then. So if we can honestly win a cup this season, I will be absolutely delighted and I will celebrate it as if we won the Champions League because I know it is a marker and it is a template, a platform for the delivery of even bigger trophies. Jose taught us that. And, we've got to do that. So, yes. Back to your question, it is a big win. It is a very big win. It's not about the size of the team we played. It's about the performance and the magnitude and the significance of the game.
Yep, I think this was an excellent topic. Actually, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed when topics like that get tense. That's when we learn. Yeah, much love to Constantine Dante for uh, arguing otherwise. It makes us think intellectually. Breaking news. Yep, there you go. I know for the fact the Chelsea board need more revenue from the cups to start to get to show this sponsor that they are a serious team. It makes sense. This win builds confidence and maintains our unbeaten status in 2024. Adds to the to the fact what that's another two factors that makes it a big win. And three bounce through wins on the bounce. Yeah, it's a big win. We've been patchy. Yeah, I think it's 3 wins on the bounce, isn't it? Yeah, because that one isn't here also. So to me, that's how I see it. But I understand Constantine Dante's argument. You guys are not going to drag me to that place. In my view, momentum holds a significance. Winning 3 consecutive games to contribute to confidence and self-belief. So let's hear you achieve potential victories against Borough and Fulham could extend the streak to 5 in a row. Such moments are crucial for a team to turn things around. And that's how I see it too. I'm not reading that. In my humble opinion, the win yesterday is an important win, not a big win. That's another way to see it too. But when you say it's important, I could interpret that as a big win since it's important. But I understand where you're coming from. Not a big win, considering the opponent. But that wasn't my argument.
You see that is all they've done is prove my point. They prove my point,
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
People look at
So
big win as
go
it
ahead,
has to
son.
be
Go ahead.
based on who the opponent is. That's not what it doesn't matter who the opponent is. The
Mhm.
importance is the game, not the team you're playing against. You know it is, man.
Yep. But that's another way, another point there. Given that, Bobby, I think we can get in the top 7, and people got to understand there are a lot of teams that even haven't been in the semifinals, e.g., from first half and the other teams there. Let me start with you
Can
again,
I add something to that,
Bobby.
Coach?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to add something to that comment.
Mhm.
Yes, I haven't really been looking at the table because of our performances, but I looked at the table, and I think we're what was it 3 points from the top 7? So does that mean Europe is unrealistic? I think it means Europe is very realistic. Is it probable based on the way we perform sometimes? At the moment, with our injuries and inconsistency, it doesn't look likely. But 3 points is very, very within our grasp. And so can we dream? You bet your life. You've got to dream in life. If you don't dream, you don't win. Success is born of dreams. So, I think we can do this. I pray we can do this. Am I confident? No. You can't be confident with the sort of team we have. But is it possible? Absolutely. You know, I've got to say that it's very possible. That's why Jerry Z put up a is it £150 donation if we for us getting into the top six, because he
I
believes.
think, yeah, around that, yeah.
Yeah, he believes it can happen, and do you know what? I'm behind him. You know, he's slightly more confident than I am, but you know, I can see his point. You know, and he's put his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, in a bit we'll talk about Georgi Petrovic. Sorry, Bobby, if you were still speaking, go ahead.
No, I'm not. I'm done.
Okay. Okay. Thank you there. And we have Patrick Quadzo Wemega. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Boss, the injury situation of Chelsea unbearable. Let's keep the topic aligned. But welcome, Mr. Patrick. Feel at home, express yourself. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. The win rebutes that little bit created in Poch's bank account. Flip-flop, 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 flip-flop. He's just setting the stage for us to not, so that he will not be far away from, you could say, saying, I've always supported him. I only asked the question if it was running quite low, but that's a good one too. Very creative right there. And look at it. Constantine is laughing at you. Go ahead, Tubeho. You said something. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. I have a question for the panelist. I'm hearing a lot of things here on X, right? Our fan base are complaining that Mauricio Pochettino training methods are the one that causing our players to get injuries, and then he should just change his training methods. Do you all agree on that?
No, I don't think he should change his training method. But if it
And I don't
occurs,
think he's causing the injuries either.
yeah, and I don't think
Really,
so.
it's
But
ridiculous
if
things
they
to say.
find out that that's the reason, then he'd have no option than to tone things down. For me, that's the list of my concerns, really. But they need to investigate it because it's too much. If they come to the conclusion that his training regime is the reason why we have too many players out injured, then he'd have no option than to tone it down. And we've heard from former Tottenham players who's also confirmed that his training regime can be quite gruesome, for lack of a better language there. Grueling, what's the language I'm looking for? Sorry, English isn't my first language. But once you get used to it, your fitness will be something special. Go ahead, Tubeho.
You said his training methods are brutal, right?
Yeah.
I remember on Alex Goldberg podcast, his former player, I forget, Ricky Lambert. He said the players were complaining about his training methods, and then he went there and asked Mauricio Pochettino, coach, the players are complaining. They're saying it is we should limit our training methods. Then he done 10 times what he was doing, because his tactics, his training methods, they won't change it for a player. Simple as this other coach who coach Leeds, Marcelo Bielsa.
Yeah.
His training tactics, crazy. But you can see the players, right, doing well every time because of his training methods. So overall, I don't want a coach to sacrifice his training method to due to players. They must get due to these methods.
He says a training approach is grueling. It can be grueling. His thing, but that's you can say, what's the language I'm looking for? The core of his preferred approach to football. And if you remember, we've talked about the stats that showed at the time as Tottenham manager, his players ran the most in the Premier League, covered the most ground in the Premier League. And once they get there, they perform like a machine. I don't know. I'm not an expert by any stretch of imagination. If they figure out that that's an issue, then maybe he'd have no option than to tone it down. But to me, I don't think that's the case, really. Glenn chose violence this morning. The win was so big. Nkunku bumped his hip. into it and it's out for 3 weeks. Oh my goodness. I like that one. But Glenn, nice to see you, bro. I hope you're doing well. This win also gives us good mindset going into a cup final. Very, very important not to lose that because, yeah, big semifinals. Exactly. So that's another thing you can say. It's important. Yeah, Glenn 10. Yeah, let's see. If the worry is that it was only against Preston, consider how we performed as a superior side against Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City. Yeah, that's an excellent point. Big up, Glenn 10. Just saying hello to you. Please convey our best birthday wishes to Eden Hazard. Yep, our Belgian bro. So you have a message from him. Let's see, keep dropping the likes on the scene, people. The likes to go along with. Sincerely do appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Let's see. No, it's not the training methods. I think I agree. It's the it's the barbecue. Low physical conditions before goal leads to injuries. Wow. Breaking news: Hurricane said that Poch of Fossier that there were loads of injuries. Players complained, and he made them do even more. You have to get used to it. You have to condition your body to adapt. Your body has to adapt to the approach before it stops. If in fact the training approach is the reason why we have too many players out injured, it's a massive win because they will start building. So Patrick, thank you for saying that. Let's see what else we have. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. So you're saying that Poch is the reason for most of our injuries? No, I didn't say that. I'm saying you're going to that H place, and I think JC is going to the H place too. Glenn isn't going to the H place. I know. Even though he came, he turned up with violence today. Big up, Patrick. Yep. We have been missing our headlines. Yeah. That's not that Patrick. That's not that Patrick. No. JC, that's not that. Okay, there you go. That's not that Patrick. But let's talk about Georgi Petrovic here. Here's the thing. I think he doesn't panic on the ball. He doesn't panic on the ball. He's excellent in terms of you can say how calm he is on the ball. You can say I don't panic whenever he gets the ball on his feet. He can pass very well with his left feet, both feet, in my opinion. I think his distribution is excellent actually, with his hand, with his feet. We signed us some player right here. There for the amount we paid for him, I think he probably ended up being one of our best signings last year, in my opinion. But let's hear you, Tabejo, Georgi Petrovic, what a goalkeeper he is, and high claims also. I've seen him make a lot of high claims, and also he stopped some great reflexes from him. I've seen on occasions. But let's hear you, Tabejo. Let's hear you talk about him, Georgi Petrovic. I think he may well end up keeping the number one place, in my opinion. But let's hear you. Tabejo, you're there? All right, Tai, if you're there, please, you have the floor. Talk about Georgi Petrovic, how good he's been.
Petrovic is a player that I've made this statement before. He seems like that goalkeeper that you can trust when you're trying to win a league. I know it's probably too soon to make that type of statement or to be sure about that, but his distribution is way better from what we were seeing from Sanchez. That's one thing. His claims is just about the same as Sanchez. He makes the right decisions a lot. I mean, if you follow his time at New England Revolution, you'd see that, you know, the narrative was that they lost Matt Turner and he was a key player, and then his stats were surprising to a lot of people. He's a goalkeeper that has been solid at the back. He's He commands his box. So he's a goalkeeper that you can trust. He seems very, and he's a goalkeeper that I'm happy Chelsea side because he's doing very good, and he's a good competitor to Sanchez. It's unfortunate the way that he finally got this opportunity, but he's getting the opportunity and he's making that position his own. So it's for him to keep doing it.
Yeah, I think he's an excellent goalkeeper from what I've seen. And if I'm going by what I've seen so far from him, I'd say he's actually the better goalkeeper. He's better than Robert Sanchez, in my opinion. Big up to you too, Santiago Muno. Nice to see you. Oh, it's so confusing, so rich. He's the real Patrick. Yeah, the other Patrick is Patrick Joyce. Yeah, I think I'm correct there. Check out Ty's YouTube channel at CFC Sessions. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get to 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible, and more importantly, get him monetized so that he will be motivated to do even more videos. His analysis are excellent. If you listen to them, you keep going back. Believe me. Ask even JC in the chat, Dave Roger. We'll see. I'd say ask him too. So go check it out. Be sure to subscribe and let's help him get to 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Ask Bobby what does he think about this new super sports manager. The pundits. We get to that in a bit before halftime. Let's keep it Chelsea right now. Great barbecue at the H place though. Yeah. The fire is always on. You don't need to set the fire or you can say do anything. You just bring whatever you want to grill and put it on it. Put it anywhere you like. There are no places where that's you don't see something burning. Yes, until Patrick Joyce comes back, unless a rich money maker is him. No, he's not. Patrick is different. I haven't reached out to. Don't get me to read that. There. A shout out of Chelsea Perspective. Great videos. Chelsea session, so to speak. Great videos. Yep. He's good. Santiago, nice to see you, Santiago Muno. My bro. I hope you're doing well. Please stop doing that. I've lost 20 views. Lost 20 views. That can happen. I think you pay too much attention to that. 20 subscribers. Yeah, that can happen. And I've told you that. Don't bother about them. About those. Just keep creating great content, and the rest will fall into place. Wow, must be saying some unpopular views, possibly, but you don't pay attention to those. You don't pay attention to those. There's a time I will go nearly 2 days without checking how many subscribers we have. But sometimes I pay attention with lost a few when going to the analytics of videos because you learn quite a lot from there. So you shouldn't be bothered. Don't bother yourself about that. Just be consistent. Produce content. At you can say let me say a regular interval, and for lack of a better language, there the rest will fall into place. Believe me. Our teams do have injuries also, so not only Chelsea, other teams, so to speak. Yeah. Petrovic goalkeeper must stay. Nobody talked about selling him. But let's see how you are, Bobby Georgi Petrovic. What a signing he's been for us. I think, and I'm going to say this. I know I've said it already before. Given what we've seen so far, I'd argue that he's actually better than Robert Sanchez. Especially how calm he is whenever he's on the ball. Even when opposition players pressure him, he stays calm and still finds his teammates. And whenever it's on the carpet, he hardly misplaces passes. I think that gives me hope that he's the better goalkeeper when compared to Robert Sanchez. His high claims, his reflexes are excellent too. He's made a few excellent saves that showed, yeah, it looks like he has better reflexes than Robert Sanchez. But Bobby, let's hear you. Yep, Georgi Petrovic.
I agree. The best thing about Petrovic I've seen is his consistency, and the fact that with that consistency is an upward movement of improvement. He seems to be getting better and better. He looks the part. He's you feel less concerned with him in goal than Sanchez. And for me, right now, I would say he's number one. That's his position to lose, rather than anything else. I like him. Football is a weird sport. You know, it can, especially goalkeepers, they can, one mistake from them, and you know the consequences, and it's always
Mhm.
magnified. But we can't think like that. We have to think of his qualities. And I have to say, so far, he's proven to be quite an excellent goalkeeper. Every test, if you can call it that, that I have put him and looked at to see how he would respond, particularly things like, you know, coming to collect balls in the box, his distribution, which is far more assured than Sanchez. You don't fear him doing something stupid like giving it to the opposition. I'm pleased with him. I'm very pleased. I think he is proving to be everything we need and want in goal.
Yeah, I do agree with you. And hopefully, long may that continue. But I'll be shocked. We need more time. I think we'll see more by the time Sanchez come back. We'll see more of him, and hopefully the manager doesn't just drop him to the bench. I think if he does well enough, he keeps his place because you don't chop and change the goalkeeping position, in my opinion. The rating, a reason. It's life. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the street, people. The likes will go a long way. It all revolves around the money. Oh my goodness, what am I reading there? Maybe Ty, if you punch out, you go triple your subs. If you're going by the stats, I think that I don't think that will help. But it's nothing new, and he knows that. Petrovic must keep his place. Don't just from what we've seen so far, but we still need to see more. But comes across as a very confident individual. Never panics, and when if you listen to his responses to interview questions that he's yeah that that's available online, you'd know, right? He's a comfortable player, a confidence player. Right now, it's looking like it's if Petrovic started against Arsenal, we would have won that game. Wow, some argument right there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all. If you all genuinely want it, oh my goodness. Let's say true. I am in the percent of fans that haven't said Poch out. There more people want him to stay. Actually, I'm not even close to saying that. Gilchrist was awesome yesterday, and I saw something. I saw something disgusting, really. From who was that? I think it was Simon Phillips. I'm coming. I may well find it. Gilchrist was something special. But we'll talk about Gilchrist to his debut. He's a good player. But what I saw, I was disgusted, really, from Simon Phillips. How will you convince Ikuchila to be? No, don't. I don't want to go to Hellfire, and you guys cannot lure me there. Luton tested Petrovic, and he passed the test. Not just Luton. That guy puts his heart on the pitch, always concentrating 100%. Kachila, would you take a Benjamin Sesko on loan until the end of the season? I wouldn't mind if it's available, but I don't think you can get him on loan. Ostrich, let's see. But do you think Chelsea all the way? Do you think we can get him on loan? I don't think it's possible. Good morning, coach, and everyone. Congratulations to everyone for the win. Nice to see you. A lot of people miss all the Jude, my bro. Appreciate you joining, and you know why. Let me make it clear to you why we haven't spoken. We had some water damage in the house. I think you've heard me say that before. We're going back and forth with the insurance. They're saying the quote they got from the company to fix it is too much and all that. So it's been crazy for me even before Christmas, actually. Long story there, but we'll move on. Chelsea perspective, not sure, coach. I'm tired. Tired about what? Okay, not sure which player to pick. Okay, now I get it. So for Petrovic, he played 90 minutes. Yep, of course. Saves, 2 out of 2 saves. Goals conceded, none. Expected goals faced, 0.21, not too many. Goals prevented, 0.21. So the 2 shots he faced, he stopped them. Accurate passes, 11 out of 13. That's 85%. Accurate long balls, 2 out of 3, 67%. That's excellent. Diving saves, 2. Saves inside the box, 1. So anything important. Throws, 4. High claim, 1. Recoveries, 4 in total. And touches, 20. For me, I think it's an excellent goalkeeper. goalkeeper, I wanted us to look at Gilchrist, and here's why that comes to mind, and that's because Simon Phillips says he's a better player than Disasi, and I couldn't believe that when I saw it. I nearly started to fight. If he was standing before me and he said such, I'd punch him in the face. Sterling cost us another goal in the 97th minute of the game. I'll take the one he scored and move on with it. Coach, everyone was working hard with no results in first half. Everyone was good in the second half. We cannot be judging players negatively, to be honest. It was a team performance. Yeah. And tell me why would Simon Phillips say that? He said clearly that yeah, Gilchrist was better than Disasi. I couldn't believe my ears. I get it. It's not even necessary to start comparing the players in the first place, but why would he say such? And he went to the extent of mentioning how much we paid for Gilchrist. I couldn't believe we paid for the Sassi. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, we cannot be judging players. Yeah, I think. But let's see. I need to tag team the Blues where he is right now. Sesko may be available on loan, coach. Then I wouldn't mind him. I think he's a good player, really. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Oh, sorry for the back and forth on the water damage. Just take your time. Sorry, I cannot. I came late. No worries, bro. Bills don't pay themselves. So let's look at Gilchrist, how well he did. It was his debut, full debut. He played 69 minutes. You can say he started the game. Sorry. Let's look at that. He played 61 minutes. Accurate passes 62 out of 66, 94%, most of which are, you can say, separate option passes, for lack of a better language. Touches 79, touches in opposition box 1, successful dribbles 1 out of 1, passes into the final third 3 in total, accurate crosses tried none, accurate long balls 2 out of 3, not bad, 67%. What else? Defense tackles 1 out of 1, clearances 2 in total, headed clearances 2, interceptions 1, defensive actions 4 in total. I think he did well overall. Ground duels 1, 2 out of 2. Bobby, here's the question I have for you. Simon Phillips is saying that Gilchrist is proven to be better than the Sassi, even though he's just getting the look in. I think that's the language he used. It just doesn't make sense, really. But let's hear you.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's a little bit mischievous. Um, yeah, I mean, it's really funny you should say that. You know, many years ago, Simon Phillips actually blocked me on X because I came for him for some of the things he was saying. I don't have anything against him, but I do think he is somebody that has agendas sometimes. He's more of a Chelsea person, if there is such a word in terms of journalism, than Matt Law. But he's very good at lobbing in grenades. You know, he'll throw in this to sow that seed of contention. That's an unnecessary statement, and it's an inaccurate statement, and it's not right. It's not true, and he knows it. But as you know, the disharmony spillers, you know, oh, Chelsea have a good result. This could lead to a swathe of positive press. Let's throw in something that will rock the boat. That's what I said right from the beginning. This thirst for denigrating this club, it's ridiculous. It's boring. It's been too often in its occurrence, and it needs to stop. So no, I can't be for that sort of statement from him.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I couldn't believe that when I read it. Ty, you have anything to add to that? If you're there, of course. Bria needs to be sold in
I
January.
mean, I'm
But
not,
go ahead, Ty.
I'm not,
Yeah, go ahead, Ty.
I'm
I'm
not
listening.
like some people, but he's called it's a STI name by some people due to his poor takes at times. And like Bobby says, he's more of a Chelsea man type
Preston.
of journalist. I don't think that's the right terminology, but basically that's it. So yeah, but he does have agendas. He's more of what you call what some people call a common sexual. So he subscribes to the common players playing over the players that we are signing, the international players. So that's just him. And I mean, he has a right to his own opinions, but obviously that is a unfair comparison to make. For one has had minutes and fine, they did well, and Alfie could be a potential good player for Chelsea, but at the same time he could get sold. That's the case. The Sassy hasn't been as bad as people are making him out to be. Yes, he's had his shortcomings, but he's you have to remember that he's adjusting to a new league, and those things are bound to happen. The intensity is different. Yes, the League R is perhaps the same tempo in terms of the pace, in terms of movement, but the aggression is more in the Premier League, and there's different things that you be penalized for in one league that you wouldn't be in the other. So there's gonna be mistakes here and there, and no player is perfect. But the comparison made no sense. I mean, yes, Alfie looks promising, but I don't understand why we have to put two players up against each other and hype one player who's just had his full debut. It makes no sense. But he has the right to his own opinion, and I respect it, but I disagree with it 100%.
All right, thank you so much, Si. I appreciate that. Broya needs to be sold, in my opinion. Okay, let's see what the club does. Right now we need him, except if we sign a new striker. If we cannot get him now on loan for a striker, if we can't get him now, a loan for a striker works, or even a buy Girassy for 40 million. What are we still waiting for? And I think we talked about him, I think, during the last transfer window, but a lot of people pushed him aside. We need that guy. In all honesty, if we sign him on loan, even if we sign him on a permanent, he does well, then that chances are that we may not have the need to go for him and pay a premium. Why are we? Yes, but Constantine, you've stopped your argument of we don't buy players over 25. So you must precede this comment with by saying, if we really need the experience, we should get Girassy. He's an excellent finisher in most of his finishes, and about shot, about power, but finesse, placement. I like him so much. That's cheap, really. That's cheap. I think Chelsea should prioritize promoting their academy more than signing players, especially in the future. We need experience now for strength, but going forward, we should reduce it and save. Yeah, that's the project. You just defined the Chelsea project. The plan is not to be spending that much on established players in the future. Breaking news to all the panel that Chelsea can still attract the big players they want, even if we are a mid-table team, because everyone knows we got very good striker. Okay, we could be in Europe. Okay, my goodness, you are Roger. See that. Let's see what as far as the untapped potential is concerned. Here's the thing. Quickly, I want to say something, Roger. If you're listening, just know that we've asked after you on occasions, and sorry that I have sent a message to find out how you're doing. Hopefully, you're okay. Definitely more competitive team in the EPL. Yesterday, I predicted the first goal coming in Cachilla's forum. One of the reasons for doing that was seeing how the CC pushed the defensive line, seeing him pushing up a changed momentum. You could argue down to the manager's instruction. And I want to say quickly, I just still can't believe it that Simon Phillips said that. I think Bobby is correct. He was just living up to the name, or Ty living up to living up to the name. Carbon sexuals. It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to compare them. The poll again, rigged, coach. You think something else I want to ask before we round off? Yeah, I have access to the back end, right? With my analysis of the table and teams, we are going to be in achieve a European place. I hope we do. I hope we do really. Roger is very good coach. Talked very good coach. Talked to him on Mitch's channel, and he was aghast me that Broya scored. Okay, I didn't know he was there during the post game show. Based on our fixtures and on the timing, wow. Brian needs to smile more, and he needs time. Probably wasn't happy that the manager took him off. We've always known he's better aerially than Nicholas Jackson. But I'll take Nicholas Jackson for everything else he does well over Broya. But I still say that's a good player in Broya. He would take time, but he would come good to show the sort of form he showed when he was on loan at what that club called in the Dutch league. He's a good player. And I'm happy he's recovered, but he still needs time. Kutila, how far are you from the bottom? Just go away. Just one more comment, and I'm there right now. Let's see. Anybody else want to talk about it? I think Broya, he did well enough. He did well, and thank goodness, a very well taken header in my opinion. Modric, not much of an issue for me that the manager took it off. I think that game wasn't for him. There weren't too many spaces for him to exploit. Ty, anything else you want to say with regards, let's say the manager's changes? Let's hear you, Ty. All right, Bobby, anything else you want to say before we call it a day? But I want to put up a poll to see what the people think before we call it a day. And nothing new has emerged in terms of news. We know our injury list hasn't changed that much, except that we're hearing the reports out there are conflicting, to be honest. We're hearing that Christopher Nkunku could be available for selection for our next game. Some good news there. But let's see anything else. It looks like Bobby had an audio issue. Had to go back and come back in. For example, if Brighton, Fulham, and even Manchester United were fighting against us for a player in the transfer market, guess what? Yeah, they choose us. But I agree. But Bobby, let's say anything else you want to talk about before. I don't know if you have any questions and you're in the chat. Go ahead, drop it. Let's see. Okay, I think there's a question for you already. But Bobby, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, all I'll say is what Pochettino says. We can only take things, and we should only take things a game at a time. The Preston hurdle has been addressed. There will be a draw for the next round. And the next hurdle is Middlesbrough. Is it on Wednesday we're playing them?
I'm not sure what date. Let me check it for you. Let me check our schedule here. Just give me a second. Chelsea, and then I'll go to games. Okay, it will take a while. I think. Let me see fixtures. Take a while before it loads. I'm not sure why that is the case. When we're showing a bit, it actually. Okay, in Middlesbrough, it will be on the 9th. Is 9th Wednesday? Today is 7th. 2 days. To this time. Tuesday actually.
Tuesday. So
today is Sunday 7th. Yep. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, go ahead.
We can only take things a game at a time and pray that we continue to show progression and understand what we're doing. Patience, a little bit more tolerance. Now, Middlesbrough is an almighty game. If Preston was a big game, Middlesbrough is an almighty game. So
because that one is a semi-final, right?
Yeah, exactly. There are no dress rehearsals for this. You've got to get on with it. So, we just have to pray that we have enough about us and to approach that game and win that game. I think we do. It's a short turnaround. I don't know if Middlesbrough played in the 5th round of the FA Cup, but for us, it's a very short turnaround, and we have in the past struggled in terms of our players' energy levels after having a short turnaround. Now, this is good training, good exposure to the youngsters in terms of one, qualifying for Europe, because that will happen regularly once we're back in Europe, and two, overcoming yet another deficiency that we have had. So let's see. I'll check whether Middlesbrough played this fifth round. I hope they did. They probably did, but so that it's an even playing field on Tuesday.
All right. Let's see what else. There's a question for you here, Bobby. What does Bobby think of a sports manager? I'll let him go. Once he's done, then I'll speak. Why that is, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let's hear you, Bobby. That's the question on the screen is for you.
A sports manager. What do they mean by that?
Tottenham manager, Postecoglou.
Oh, Spurs manager. Oh, right. I don't really have an opinion at the moment. I would say he's doing well. He did well at Celtic, and he seems to be doing well at Spurs. Is he the answer to their prayers? I don't know. If you ask me to speak as somebody who has no time for Spurs, I say let him not be the answer to their prayers, and long may their woes continue. I don't hide behind any pretense of fairness that I wish them well. I don't wish them well at all. But I'm objective and realistic to understand that he seems to be a good manager and he seems to be doing a good job for them at the moment.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see what else we have here. That all depends on the coach. Okay, they're having a conversation with Lenton. Koglu is one-way traffic. The wheels will fall on him. I think he's proven to be too stubborn. And I think he doesn't know how to be pragmatic. I nearly moved on without speaking about him. It's beautiful football and beautiful high octane football and all that. Incisive, you can use that language too. Very progressive too, and it's a very direct. But here's where it's a problem: the highline aspect of the whole thing. He doesn't change. He's proven that he doesn't change, and if you prepare for that, you'd score 10 goals in a game against them. Look, their game against Aston Villa was a heck of a blockbuster game. Where how many goals in total? I think 5 goals in total were disallowed because they were all ruled offside. To me, he doesn't know how to be pragmatic, and that's a huge, huge, huge problem. And until he changes, I think he will struggle in the Premier League. In the Premier League, you have managers who are into when they see such that will exploit it to the max. And to me, I don't think he stays that long at Tottenham. I don't think so. That's because he's so stubborn, never changes. Let me simplify it again. Doesn't know how to be pragmatic to win games or something like that. Let's see. Once more, Ty is begging you all to support his tier list rating video of the Chelsea players so far this season. I think for me that was an excellent video, and he was truthful. Yep. Putting some players in the needs to do more section, probably why he lost some subscribers. But you have to stay objective. It will pay bigly. It will pay bigly in the long run. If you understand what bigly means, it will pay you a lot in the long run. Don't just you can say follow the. It's like say follow the tide. Don't follow the punch. Always say the right and be objective. Your channel will continue to grow. If you haven't, go check out Ty's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get monetized as soon as possible. Coach, isn't this show that? No, this is different. That one it would just be I and people. If that makes sense. What will that show be called? Not Pochettino. No. That sounds catchy though, but I'm not gonna do that. Middlesbrough are gutted with a defeat to Aston Villa. So which means they need a reaction against us. So if you're saying they got it, we're playing against a wounded lion, for lack of a better language there. Pochettino, more catchy. Alex Matters is starting for Huddersfield against a City, already on the yellow. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Tapino there. Why need not channel, not a channel, show. a show on Chelsea perspective. Yeah, I have another channel, but for a different theme, motivational channel. That one doing some research, producing some content, evergreen content for that one, which will be released soon. This says, let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We mocked the data when Postecoglou was named among Chelsea potential managers before we hired Poch. He had a good start, and I think he can bounce back if he goes to the drawing board. If he learns to be a bit more pragmatic. Yeah. If he learns to be a bit more pragmatic, maybe that way we then employ him for Chelsea. Maybe the new show will be called what the- Oh my goodness. I think you're going to the H place too. And this is for you. Ange will do well with Spurs when he gets more players his style. Even now, he has done very well. He's done very well, but I think the issue will be he will almost always beat the big boys, but sometimes will struggle against the you can say the low block teams or the bottom table teams. That's because they will sit back and hit Tottenham on a break. The high line is so risky; it's not funny. Honestly, it's so risky, and it doesn't even when you think he'd need change things around. So be a bit more pragmatic to get the result. He doesn't, and he even tell you that he doesn't operate like that. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, a show. Yeah, not another channel. No. I'm not gonna do another separate football channel. The two is okay. One dedicated to my beloved club, and one for every how do I say it? Every football club or every football competition, for lack of a better language there. So if you're in the chat, if you have any questions, drop it. Otherwise, I think we've come to the natural end of the show. Nothing new has emerged that is worth discussing. Yeah, we've streamed for 2 hours and 24 minutes. And Rich Moneymaker saying we need a channel called Bobby Project Phase 1 for he may well, but I think Bobby's too busy to own a channel. Let's see. The best have arrogance. Okay, the best have arrogance, and Angie does. So I agree. I want to 2-0 win at halftime. Style coach. I want that too, but I think Poch is an you can say attack-minded manager. He likes attacking football, but he's just being a bit too cautious for a reason, and I can understand. Because winning, as much as winning can become a habit, losing can become a habit too. And that's especially the truth when you have kids, and kids will always be kids. He has to be very cautious until we'll achieve balance in terms of more experience. The players, the kids will have also learn to be, you can say, to be, you can say, to approach the game in a mature manner. Then, yeah, maybe I don't know. But that's, by the way, people, I think we've come to the natural end of the show. I want to say thank you to Tabejo, who was on the panel. Thank you to Ty. And thank you to Bobby, of course. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Great show, Bobby, and the coach. And let's see. And thank you to Richard Money Make. Oh, it's nice to see you. And thanks to Constantine.
Coach, that's it. That's sad.
Were you saying something, Ty?
That's sad, man. I don't exist. I don't exist. I don't exist.
Who said that?
Rich Money said, great show, Bobby and the coach. So,
oh yeah, Ty doesn't exist. Yeah, that's not good, really. Constantine Dante, thanks to you, thanks to Ty there, and thanks to who? Andy, Litness is greatness. I appreciate you finding the time to join. And thank you, JC. Thank you to Jerry Z. Thank you to all of you. If I missed your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.